What if the most explosive, boundary-breaking show on television is headed toward its end, and even its own creator is afraid of getting it wrong? That's exactly the emotional storm surrounding the final season of The Boys, as mastermind Eric Kripke openly admits something shocking. He's terrified. Not of failure in the usual sense, but of disappointing the millions of fans who turned this brutal, unfiltered superhero satire into a global phenomenon. As the final season prepares to drop on Prime Video, the pressure isn't just high, it's suffocating. And alongside him, stars like Fukuhara and Erin Moriarty are stepping into what could be their most emotional, unpredictable, and defining performances yet. Because this isn't just another season, this is the end of everything. To understand why this moment carries so much weight, you have to look back at how The Boys built its legacy. From the very beginning, it wasn't your typical superhero story. It flipped the entire genre upside down, exposing the dark, corrupt, and often horrifying reality behind people with godlike powers. Characters weren't just heroes or villains, they were broken, complex, and dangerously human. Over 4 seasons, audiences watched alliances crumble, morals blur, and relationships evolve in ways that felt painfully real. At the center of it all were emotional anchors like Kimiko, played by Fukuhara, and Erin, also known as Starlight, brought to life by Erin Moriarty. Their journeys weren't just about survival, they were about identity, trauma, and finding meaning in a world that constantly takes more than it gives. Somewhere in the middle of crafting Season 3, Eric Kripke revealed that the team finally began to see the end clearly. That's when the real challenge began. Because ending a show like The Boys isn't just about wrapping up a story, it's about delivering something that feels earned, emotional, and unforgettable. And according to Kripke, that balance is terrifying. He described the need to give audiences what they want, those satisfying, cathartic moments, but in ways they never see coming. It's a delicate line. Go too predictable and the finale feels flat. Try too hard to outsmart the audience and you risk alienating them completely. And that's the nightmare he can't escape, the idea that the ending could redefine how the entire series is remembered. That fear isn't unfounded. Television history is filled with shows that stumbled at the finish line, leaving fans frustrated and disappointed. Kripke knows that once the final episode airs, everything will be judged through that lens. Did it deliver? Did it honor the characters? Did it stay true to what made the show special? These questions aren't just lingering in the background, they're driving every decision behind the scenes. And yet, despite that pressure, there's also confidence. He believes fans will get what they've been waiting for. The moments they've hoped for will happen. But the journey to those moments, that's where the surprises lie. Twists, emotional turns, and a sense of finality that feels less like an ending and more like saying goodbye to people you've known for years. As the story moves into its final chapter, relationships become more fragile than ever. Fans have long been invested in the love stories, especially the complicated bond between Huey and Starlight, and the deeply emotional connection between Kimiko and Frenchie. But if there's one message coming from the cast, it's this: don't get too comfortable. According to Fukuhara, Kimiko begins the season with one clear goal: finding her way back to Frenchie after being torn apart. It's a journey driven by hope, something she's fought hard to rediscover after everything she's endured. Her transformation from a silent, controlled weapon into someone who understands her own strength, both physical and emotional, has been one of the most powerful arcs in the entire series. For Erin Moriarty, the story takes a darker turn. Annie isn't the hopeful hero fans met in Season 1 anymore. Instead, she's carrying the weight of everything she's seen: the corruption, the violence, the endless loss. At the start of this final season, she's dealing with that trauma in a way that feels unfamiliar, even to herself. There's a growing bitterness, a kind of emotional armor that mirrors characters she once stood against. It's not random, it's earned. After everything she's been through, this shift feels like a natural, if heartbreaking, evolution. But beneath that hardened exterior, there's still a storm of unresolved emotion. She hasn't had time to process what's happened to her. She's still fighting, still moving forward, even as everything inside her threatens to break. And then there's the question that's been haunting fans.
what happens to her relationship with Huey? In a world where danger is constant and survival is never guaranteed, love becomes complicated. Sometimes the only way to protect someone is to stay away from them, and that's the painful reality Annie is facing. Her priority isn't romance, it's keeping him alive, even if that means sacrificing their connection. It's a devastating choice, one that reflects the brutal reality of the world they live in. Because in The Boys, love doesn't always win. Sometimes survival does. Of course, no discussion about this show would be complete without addressing its reputation for pushing boundaries. From shocking violence to moments that leave audiences speechless, The Boys has never held back. But according to Eric Kripke, that's never been the goal. The chaos, the insanity, the over-the-top moments, they're not there just for shock value. They serve the story. Every extreme scene is meant to push characters forward, to reveal something deeper about who they are and what they're becoming. And in this final season, that philosophy remains unchanged. Yes, there will be moments that go further than ever, but they won't be empty. They'll matter. Behind the scenes, there's also a deep emotional current running through the production. Ending a show like this isn't just difficult for fans, it's incredibly hard for the people who created it. For years, these actors and creators have lived with these characters. They've built relationships, both on screen and off, and now they're being asked to let go. That sense of finality is woven into the story itself. The ending isn't just about plot resolution, it's about closure, about giving these characters the send-off they deserve, while also acknowledging that some stories don't have clean, happy endings. Industry insiders believe this final season could redefine what a successful TV ending looks like. In an era where audiences are more vocal than ever, delivering a satisfying conclusion is one of the hardest challenges in entertainment. But there's also an opportunity here, a chance to set a new standard. By focusing on character, emotion, and authenticity rather than just spectacle, Eric Kripke and his team might just pull it off. When you look at the bigger picture, this final season isn't just the end of a show, it's the end of an era. The Boys changed the way audiences view superheroes. It proved that the genre could be dark, complex, and deeply human. It challenged expectations, broke rules, and created moments that people will be talking about for years. And now, as it prepares to say goodbye, the question isn't just how it will end, it's how it will be remembered. Because in the end, that's truly what matters. Not just the final episode, but the legacy it leaves behind. And if the emotion, honesty, and raw intensity that define the series so far are any indication, this isn't going to be a quiet farewell. It's going to be loud, painful, unpredictable, and unforgettable.